Scorpio. Something in your field has just shifted, and your spirit already knows it. You didn't click this by accident. In the days after November 30th, an energetic doorway that opens only once every 3 decades begins to glow with your name on it. A rare portal of wealth, restoration, and purpose that feels almost too big to be real. You may not see it yet with your eyes, but your body has been sensing it. The strange calm before a turning point, the feeling that money is in the air, the sense that life is quietly moving furniture behind the scenes. This isn't just another horoscope. This is a call to the part of you that has silently believed for years that one major blessing could rewrite your entire story. $1 million blessing. Not just numbers on a screen, but a level of abundance that changes how you walk through the world. Think about the last few months, Scorpio. Have you noticed the pauses? The way certain doors seem to stall as if time itself was dragging its feet. The friendships that faded without drama. The job or project that somehow wouldn't go through. The sudden urge to reorganize your life even when nothing big was happening yet. Those weren't failures. Those were the final adjustments before this portal opened. After November 30th, the universe is not dropping money from the sky like a game show prize. It is activating an alignment you've been inching toward for years. The once-in-30-years energy around you now feels like a cosmic review. What has Scorpio learned about power, trust, and self-worth? Where have you stopped settling? Where have you finally said, "Never again," and meant it? The answers to those questions are the key code for this doorway. Astrologically, the story looks something like this. The deep, uncompromising force of Pluto, your ruler in the shadows, begins to hum in a new way, stirring the roots of your destiny. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and blessing, sends a current through the financial sector of your chart, amplifying whatever you truly believe about your value. And Venus, the weaver of worth and attraction, softens the path so that opportunity doesn't just appear, it feels right. When these energies resonate together, they create a rare crossing point, an intersection where timing, talent, and divine favor meet. Most people will feel it as strange luck or good timing. You will feel it as recognition. This is what you've been prepared for. This is why certain losses had to happen. This is why life kept saying, "not yet," when you wanted yes so badly. The tarot echoes this same story in its own language. The wheel of fortune turns in your favor again, not as random luck, but as a response to every cycle you refuse to repeat. The Ten of Pentacles glows in the background like a family crest, speaking of long-term wealth, stability, assets, and legacy that outlive you. Judgment rises not as condemnation, but as awakening, the trumpet call that says, "Scorpio, it's time to step into the life your soul wrote, not the one you settled for." This $1 million blessing is not just a bank balance, it is a new identity. It is you no longer flinching when you think about your future. It is you making choices from overflow instead of panic. It is you finally behaving like someone who expects good things to stay. But this portal is not automatic. A door can be wide open and still be missed by someone whose eyes are glued to the past. The days after November 30th test your readiness in subtle ways. An email appears that looks small, but leads to a bigger opportunity if you follow through. A conversation shifts from casual to life-changing in a matter of minutes. A business idea, side hustle, or creative project you buried years ago suddenly clicks into place with new information or new technology. These are not random coincidences. They are threads being placed in your hands. The question is whether you will tug on them. In this season, the universe doesn't reward desperate grasping. It responds to clear, grounded yes. The ones who will feel this $1 million blessing most strongly are not the loudest or the busiest. They are the most aligned. Alignment for you begins with honesty. No more pretending you're fine, earning less than you know you're worth. No more twisting yourself into knots to stay where your gifts are ignored. No more telling yourself that money is evil or not spiritual while secretly craving stability. The portal opening after November 30th is not a test of how much you can hustle. It is a reflection of how deeply you've allowed your inner script about wealth to change. The law of attraction in this phase isn't about repeating affirmations until your throat hurts. It's about living as if abundance is a natural language you're finally allowed to speak. That might look like finally pricing your work fairly, applying for something you once talked yourself out of, saying no to a lowball offer with grace and zero guilt, or simply letting yourself believe that financial safety is not something other people get. It's something your soul is also worthy of. Your intuition is your millionaire compass now. Scorpio intuition doesn't shout, it vibrates. In this cycle, you'll find that your inner knowing about money and opportunity is sharper than ever. You'll sense which invitations are glitter and which are gold. You'll feel when a collaboration carries true potential and when it's just another detour into almost. The old you might have overthought every decision, asked 10 people for advice and then chosen the safest option. The you standing in this once-in-30-years portal will feel a quiet click inside when something is right, even if it scares you a little, especially if it scares you a little. That edge of nervousness is often the line between your comfort zone and your calling. Emotional healing is a huge part of why this blessing is even possible. For years, money may have been tangled up with pain, childhood patterns, family scarcity, betrayals around loans or promises, partners who used your generosity without ever really reciprocating. You might have learned to associate wealth with loss, conflict, or pressure. This portal does not just pour resources over old wounds, it invites you to heal the wound so the blessing can stay. That might mean forgiving yourself for past mistakes, acknowledging where you ignored red flags, or admitting that you stayed small to keep other people comfortable. None of that makes you weak. It makes you human. And once you confess that truth to yourself, even quietly, shame starts to fall away, and the channel for receiving gets clearer. There will be signs that you're stepping into this new reality. You may see repeating numbers like 8888, 808, or 1001 around the time this portal activates, not as magic charms, but as gentle nudges. Stay awake. Stay open. Colors may call to you more strongly. Molten gold, deep emerald, midnight blue. They carry frequencies of wealth, groundedness, and spiritual authority. You might find yourself rearranging your environment, cleaning your desk, organizing documents, opening savings or investment accounts, researching new skills. These mundane acts are not separate from the mystical energy. They're how you anchor it. $1 million blessing can knock, but if there's nowhere in your life to put it, no structure, no container, no plan, it slips away as quickly as it arrived. Understand, $1 million blessing doesn't always mean one check with 6 zeros overnight. Sometimes it arrives as a series of doors, new clients, business growth, promotions, royalties, properties, creative rights, investments that grow quietly over years. Sometimes it appears as a single phone call that reshapes your trajectory. Sometimes it shows up as a shift in your relationship with work itself, moving from exhaustion into inspired effort, from doing everything alone into building systems and support. What makes this period unique is not the form the blessing takes, but the frequency behind it. The money that enters your life after this portal opens is not meant to vanish into old survival patterns. It is meant to build something that feels like freedom. And freedom for you might not look like flashy displays. It might look like paying off debt, helping your family in ways you once only dreamed of, relocating to a place that supports your nervous system, funding your art without begging for permission, taking time to heal without panicking about bills, giving generously when you feel led, not because you're trying to buy love or approval, but because you finally have more than enough. This is what once in 30 years means on a soul level. Not just a streak of luck, but a long-term upgrade in what you consider normal. The old baseline of just getting by is retiring. A new baseline of deeply supported is waiting if you choose it. As we move toward the end of this message, there's something important that needs to be said softly but clearly. This story we're walking through together is a spiritual map, not a legal contract. It is a reflection of one powerful possibility in your field, not a guaranteed promise that specific amounts of money will land in specific ways. This narrative is a mirror, a vision, a kind of soulful thought experiment designed to wake up the part of you that still believes in miracles, while also reminding you that your choices, your effort, and your discernment matter. It isn't financial advice, it isn't a prediction you must build your life around, and it's not here to replace practical planning, grounded strategy, or professional guidance in money, career, or life decisions. If it resonates, let it encourage you toward wise, aligned action. If it doesn't, let it drift past you like a cloud in a November sky, knowing that not every message is meant for every heart, and your inner guidance remains the final authority. So, Scorpio, let's turn this from just a video into a living declaration. If you can feel something inside you buzzing, a mix of nerves, hope, and recognition, claim your place in this portal in your own way. Speak it softly or write it boldly. I am ready for my $1 million blessing. I align with abundance that is safe, sacred, and sustainable. Those words are not a magic spell, but they are a signal to your own subconscious that the era of self-sabotage is ending. The era of alignment is beginning. As the days after November 30th unfold, notice where life invites you to rise, the application you almost talk yourself out of, the collaboration that feels exciting but unfamiliar, the boundary around your time that suddenly becomes non-negotiable. Each yes, each no, each small act of self-respect is part of how you step through this rare doorway. You were not born to orbit the edges of your potential forever. You were not meant to watch wealth swirl around other people while telling yourself, "That's for them, not for me." Your chart, your scars, your resilience, your intuition, all of it has been training you for seasons exactly like this. A once-in-30-years portal of financial and spiritual elevation begins humming after November 30th, and your name is written in its light. How you answer is up to you. Move with intention. Listen to your inner yes. Honor the lessons that nearly broke you, and then let them fuel a future that finally feels worthy of everything you've lived through. The $1 million blessing is not just coming toward you, Scorpio. At a deeper level, it has been walking beside you for years, waiting for the moment you finally turn, face it fully, and say, without flinching, "I am ready to receive."